Let me ask y'all this. I want y'all to think about this. What is God's language? What is God's language? Now, when you think about it, God's language would be love. It would be honor. It would be the good. Because this is how God is. This is who He is. These are the traits of God, right? So when you communicate with God in your prayers or in your meditating, you don't come with this lower frequency of hate, of jealousy, of envy. You don't come to Him with that type of frequency. He's not going to communicate back to you like that. That isn't how God is. You go communicate to another person like that, but you can't communicate to God like that. He's not on that frequency. He won't hear you. Welcome. This is Nvrchained. Nvrchained, where we are confined by nothing and limitless beyond measure. Today we're going to be exploring this word that's been around called language, right? Language. We're going to be talking about language as in English, Spanish, French. We're going to talk about it a language as in with words, and then we're going to talk about language as in the spiritual aspect, how it is a sound. Then we're going to talk about how it is a tribe of people. We're going to get into real world situations and how language is not just words. It's a way of communication. So first, my dog's they're snoring and shit. Yeah, so first we'll get into the root word, right, of language. In Latin, it is lingua, I believe. It's lingua, which means tongue and speech. Now, the funny part about this word is, in the Old French, it's pronounced langage. Langage, they obviously translated and changed it. The New French, it has a different name and meaning. But in the Old French, it was langage, and it had similar meaning speech, words, but it also meant a tribe. It meant people, and it meant a nation. Now you may be thinking, how does that even mean language? Well, language is a way of communicating with a group of people. It's a way of communicating with a community. So you can see how language can be used as a tribe. It can be intertwined with a tribe, right? Because you're able to speak and communicate with these types of people. Language expands beyond just English, French, and Spanish, Mandarin. It expands far beyond that because language is a frequency. Language is a frequency. Before we get to language, we have words, right? Before we get to words, we have letters, and letters produce sounds, right? A, E, I, O, U. The first things they teach you when you're younger. A, E, I, O, U, the sounds of the vowels. A, by themselves, it sounds like sounds. In this way, this is how we communicate with animals, dogs, cats. This is how we communicate with them because they only hear sound. They don't hear the actual English language that we're speaking to them. No, they can recognize the sound and the frequency and patterns that we teach them. Now we can effectively communicate with them. Feel me? So, with that being said, right, I have put language is a frequency of sound with levels to communicate and unify. I think this is big because we often look at language as just a way of speaking to people, but it is actions. It is also actions, what we do. Now, in the business aspect, someone who isn't on, say business is this frequency, right? This business is this frequency, and inside that frequency, there's levels, right? Someone who is at an expert level is up here. They will still be able to communicate with someone on a lower level within that field, right? But someone who is on a lower level would not be able to comprehend or understand, or understand what the person on the higher level is saying, right? And I say that to say this: we have to educate ourselves and learn and grow. This goes within our daily lives. Athletes have to learn this, because communicating with the game and language, as you know, language has its own rules, right? In the English language, yes means yes, right? It has a specific meaning. You can't go out of what yes means, because if you go out of what yes means and you try to communicate that with someone else, now you have to explain. But just saying yes and then meaning something else, now you guys are on different frequencies. You guys are on a different level. Feel me? So athletes who play the game, say basketball, my favorite sport. Say athletes who play the game of basketball, there's levels to playing basketball. Now the language is the rules. We have to abide by these rules and play this game how it's supposed to be played, but the levels is how good are you, right? Someone who is experienced will have much easier time playing the game versus someone who is just starting out this new language. See what I'm saying? And in this world, we have to develop ourselves and grow. Language is not just speaking. It's a way of life. We have to communicate with each other. And I was watching this show. For any of y'all that watch anime, I was watching Baki. And then in the new season that just came out, it was this caveman called Pickle that they have revived from like the Ice Age way back when. And if you don't know Baki, me just a quick rundown, is basically fighters. There's this guy named Baki. He has a father. He has his father that he's trying to beat. All them fight. They got different martial arts: kung fu, karate, boom boom pow, right? So, and everyone speaks that language of fighting. Everyone has that urge to fight, and they love it. That's their language. So this caveman, from the beginning of time, in the story where they were dinosaurs, he had this passion for fighting as well. The difference is he did not speak English or Chinese. He spoke the words of not the words. His language was fighting. So this is how he communicate. He didn't have certain sounds which he could translate to communicate with them. Damn, my guy. Damn. Nah, he didn't have certain words or sounds he could communicate with them for them to understand. But the language that he spoke was fighting. That part was very, very interesting to me, because they all had that certain type of love for it and understanding without communicating verbally. So that was beautiful. But language is basically a way of understanding and communicating with each other. Now, in the spiritual aspect, right? What is your language? What is? Let me ask y'all this. I want y'all to think about this. What is God's language? What is God's language? Now, when you think about it, God's language would be love. It would be honor. It would be the good. Because this is how God is. This is who he is. These are the traits of God, right? So when you communicate with God in your prayers or in your meditating, you don't come with this lower frequency of hate, of jealousy, of envy. You don't come to him with that type of frequency. He's not going to communicate back to you like that. That isn't how God is. You go communicate to another person like that, but you can't communicate to God like that. He's not on that frequency. He won't hear you. Right? How do you communicate with your partner? How do you communicate with your friends? Language is beautiful. And when two people communicating can have love for it, master it, and do it effectively, is very beautiful. But I just want y'all to, I wanted to bring this in so y'all could just come think about it. Think about what language actually is. Because people make up these words, and words is man created. We weren't born with words. So what does language mean to you? Just think about it. If you meditate on it. I like thinking about words, and I want somebody to challenge me on this. Challenge me on some points. If you agree, you know what I'm saying? Put the comments in. If you disagree, tell me why. Tell me why you disagree with a valid point. I feel like it's an interesting topic. You feel me? Man, y'all go on Nvrchained.com. Y'all support the brand. Y'all know we going crazy on the Nvrchained Productions, the podcast. We got the YouTube going crazy, and we trying to get some more things going on for the clothing brand. So y'all stay tuned, man. Y'all stay tuned, man. God bless. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Y'all stay grinding. Y'all keep on y'all growth journey. Man, this shit not gonna be easy, but you gonna get there, right?